So let's switch over to something like the middle. Let's go to the bass pickup, and I'm going to roll off. This is all this little mini humbucker here. Roll off the highs a little bit. Try to get us a little bit of a jazzier tone, more of a little bit of a swingier sound. Not really gonna. Hopefully that'll work, but. Alright, so we got this, we could do something like this. That wasn't perfect, but I'll play it again later and show you some other stuff. But so let's look at that, really, the main shape that we can move around, and it works really well in just about anything, is this. This kind of C, I guess it would just be a C. I don't know if it'd be a C6 or a C major 6, but we're playing, that would be like your major triad. So you got your 1, your 3, and your 5, but we're taking this up a whole step and we're playing the 6th note. So we got the 1, the 3, and the 6. And what's interesting about that is, if you look at that note, that's your A note, so right? So you kind of get a quality, you get that kind of lap steel sort of sound if you play these right and you use a lot of different little, that's kind of the idea. But what's cool about when you get into the 6 and those types of chords and stuff is they kind of have a major and minor kind of quality to them. But the cool thing about it is you can kind of just move these around without really altering that shape much, and you get a lot of passing tones, and that's kind of the idea. So in some places it sounds like we're playing a little bit a major sort of voicing, and then in other places it's like we're flat, so we're you get more of a minor quality. And you just got to think about like a pedal steel or a lap steel, especially one that's tuned to the C6 tuning. You get that sort of sound, and that's what we're trying to mimic as we're sliding through. What I'm doing is I'm actually going back to that diminished. So C back to a diminished, C diminished, back up to a C. Now really, I think you could do this just flatting your 5. You could really, we're just getting that. That's the movement we're looking for. That's what I'm playing. You could do it. You could also do it though. You just move that whole shape up a half step. So yeah, C diminished to a C triad, going to that 6th pattern. And all I'm doing is I'm just raising that up to, what would that be, the flat 7, the B flat there, and then back to the 6, back to the C. Again, you could use that entire shape, but I'm doing, and the reason I'm doing that is because you can kind of get a little bit of a vibrato. Again, you're trying to emulate a kind of a lap steel sort of sound. Now here, I'm going back to this triad that comes out of the F major there. But you could also just use that same shape. Remember that if we flat that back, it's really just an F minor. And it kind of works. So never changed the shape at all. I just kept it. In fact, I didn't even play that C major triad. I just went back to this same old shape. You could do that if you like that kind of sound. What I would probably prefer is just go back to the F major there, and then I'm taking that same shape. That would be starting at the 6th fret. I'm just going to show you the 3rd string, moving it up to the 7th fret. And then back, rooted on the 4th fret, sliding up to the 5th fret. And if you listen closely to those tones, you kind of start to hear a little bit of that kind of lap steel stuff. If you really had volume swells and maybe even could be fast enough to, swelling the tone, you'd be much closer to that sort of sound. So yeah, let's play it up to that point. And at that point on, also you want to kind of get a lot of the slides in there. Something, or I play it the other way too. And now keeping that same shape, except we're just really worried about the 4th string and the 2nd string. We're going to slide that around, that movement around from the 4th fret up to the 5th fret. Come back and hit the 3rd fret of the G there, the 3rd fret of the E string. You could. So we're wanting to move back to the C, right? But we're passing through this B flat, and I don't remember. So I think that would work, where sliding back to the 3rd fret and then play the high E, and then play your. You don't have to play the full C. You just want to start on the 4th fret of the 4th string of the C chord. Just play those 3 notes. And then that's just a C9. So we're just going to bar there. Start out the way you play your normal C. Can't see. And then just anchor, just root it down at the just bars. What I meant to say, at the third string, 3rd fret, 2nd string, 3rd fret. And then we're going to do the same thing. That's where I messed up. You kind of get that old honky-tonk country kind of chromatic movement. You can play that as well. And it's all based around that same kind of C major, 6 or suspended 6 that I was talking about earlier. Here, when we're moving, we're kind of, there's a half step, there's a whole step between 12th fret and then the 10th fret. Another whole step to the 8th fret. Now you're going to do half steps. 7th fret, 5th fret. And I just think that sounds, pretty cool. Here you could, and that's just going to be your kind of old country rockabilly, maybe even rock sound. Not a blues lick. And what's cool right at this point is you can actually throw in some diminished. Now, when you're in a major chord, doesn't work all the time, doesn't always sound that great, but when you're in your major, like a 1-4-5 chord progression, always think about your movement over your 4 chord, because if it works out well, that's where you can throw in some diminished stuff. And I'll do that right here, like so remember, I said this is a C triad. If we flat back the 5 in the 3rd, we get a diminished triad. And all you gotta do is play those notes. Then move the whole shape up 4 frets. Keep the shape the same. Move it up 4 frets again. And then you get something like that. You can end it, you can resolve it going back into that kind of rockabilly blues shape. So let's put it all together at that point. At this point, I think it'd be kind of cool to throw in like something from Stray Cat Strut, maybe, like, and that's kind of going into, that's adding in something new, which would be that G augmented. And we saw Redd do that earlier when he was doing, played a lick like that, kind of getting that G augmented. So that's the raised 5th, and we were doing that. So the way I was doing it there was, you know, kind of like Stray Cat Strut type of thing. To show you what I was doing, I'm assuming you probably, if you watch this channel, you're very familiar with that kind of country label. Just playing that augmented. Just remember, the only thing that makes it sound like that is that we're raising that, or that D up, that 5 we're sharping it. Yeah. And so you see that diminished movement and everything. You can use that, or you can leave it out. So let's play it with the backing track, see how it sounds.